Report about the situation in the ATO zone. Colonel Andriy Lysenko, the Speaker of the Presidential Administration, has the floor. Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. The last day was marked with unprecedented high number of the violations of ceasefire on the part of the illegal armed formations, over 100. Such a number of the armed provocation of the enemy have not been fixed for more than over 1 month. The news in the Lugansk direction, the militants do not stop to be involved in harassment fire at the footholds of the ATO forces near Stanitsa Luganska. The enemies continue their insidious tactics of shelling during the dark hours of the day. Over 2 hours they fired 120mm mortars. Also in the Lugansk direction, they recorded the morning mortar shelling on the part of the illegal armed forces near Bolotin. Also 2 cases of shooting into the north of Bakhmutsk highway. Besides, at night, the militants fired at our servicemen who take care of defense between Zolote and Pervomaisk, and there is an elevated threat to the local civil residents. Then Donetsk direction. Yesterday, the enemy continuously fired from the mortars for about 12 hours in a row near Svetlodarsk. Because of the threat to their lives, our fighters of ATO opened the firing response. They did not allow any casualties among our guys. The enemy's provocations continue at the western perimeter of the occupied Gorlivka and the section from Nikolaevka Druga to Novgorodsky. Should be noted that as unlike other front sections, here the enemy uses the heavy artillery even during the light hours of the day. To the west of Donetsk, the situation remains unchanged and quite complex. Here we can see the highest concentration of the heavy weaponry of the militants, but those provocations cannot lead to the change in the front line in favor of the enemy, and the ATO forces are successfully defending their footholds.
It was Mariupol. Epicenter of is in Starognatica, about 6 hours and after and before morning and after they were shelling upon our position using our 22 millimeters cannons. From the distance of 6 kilometers closer to the night, the enemy made a provocation in Shirokino, and on at other places it was calm during the last day. We lost 2 soldiers and 7 were wounded. The US introduced one more package of sanctions against Russian businessmen and companies because of Russian aggression in Ukraine. The blacklist includes now some Russian banks, parts of Rosneft, Poltsenko and Kerechinsky, and also Izhmash as a producer of Kalashnikov submachine guns. And also new blacklist includes Russian businessmen and top managers of defense industry and counter-aggression, and 3 people from Yanukovych, Andriy Kylyov, Srikuchenko and Alexander Yanukovych. Now these people are prohibited entry to the US, and they are losing access to assets in that country. There is military training, so our soldiers continue now. These skills trained by special forces from Khmelnytsk region. They worked on some exercises on airport not far from Vinnytsia. During 2 days, crews of AN-26 and helicopters Mi-8MT, they were flying, and the special forces, they were jumping with parachutes, and also they're working on mining infrastructure of the enemy with subversive groups. And multinational training rapid transit 2015 is coming to the end. Yesterday it was the last day of active military trainings, and the main task was to capture TV radio center, which is very important during hybrid war. The unit of the US captured a building, but access to the district was taken under the control by Ukrainian Marines. Among our soldiers, we have about 80%. They are veterans of ATO. They had to do similar tasks under military battle conditions. They were supported by 2 armored vehicles. They surrounded the enemy, and they pressed down its resistance. And the train was one more chance for Ukrainian armed forces to train, coordinate, to work on coordination and cooperation, interoperability with NATO units. Ukrainian Special Service continues to prevent efforts to take out strategically important products to the country aggressor. In Kharkiv, police stopped military goods to Russia, and someone who was trying to take military products and as products was arrested on Hoptivka border crossing points. That's on the highway Kharkiv, Belarus to Moscow. That was from Ukrainian military factory to a middleman who delivered that to Russia. And also they blocked smuggling weapons from ATO area during the search of a car that was moving from Chestia. They took 4 grenades F1, GD5 with fuses, also half thousand 4.45 millimeters cartridges. Also, the police of Slavyansk found a parcel with ammunition, and they took 2 fuses, 2 grenades, 4 detonators, 4 detonators with powder and plastid, and many cartridges 5.45 millimeters, and that cargo was moved from Kostiantynivka to Zhytomyr region. The one who was sent that was a woman, and now she is wanted. On the checkpoint not far from Svatolansk region, police stopped a car and from Kyiv region. When they checked, they found 3 knives, 5 grenades, and more than 100 cartridges, of different caliber. That's it. If there is a question, ask. Is there a question? If not, then thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Our next brief